I'm Rahana, I'm one of the business lecturers, and I'm going to talk to you about business and law that's offered at Selby College today. On the slide, you can see a couple of pictures from some visits we've done. That is a visit of A-level business students going to JCB. That was a second year visit. And we've got an A-level law visit to London as well. We're going to talk about visits a little later on. So if I can have the next slide, please. So I'm going to start you off by talking about A-level business. And A-level business provides you with a sound knowledge and theoretical understanding of business. And in the first year, we cover the key functional areas of the business, such as marketing, operations, finance, and human resource management. And that includes looking at things such as within marketing, why businesses market the way they do and how they do it and the importance of it. Also looks at branding and the importance of branding. And within finance, we're looking at things such as cash flow, revenue, profit, costs, budgeting and break even. And with human resources, we're looking at things, amongst other things, theories of motivation and how organizations can motivate their employees to be more productive. So year one covers the basics, the functional areas of the business. It's an introduction to business. So if you haven't done business before, it's okay. We assume no knowledge when you start. We move to year two and we're looking at the bigger picture, and that includes strategic issues, change management, and the external environment. It's looking at how businesses utilize strategy to make their key decisions and why they do what they do. Look at lots of different theories and models, including Bartlett and Goshal's model on internationalization. And we have lots of case studies to help you apply the theory of those models to the context of the specification. You're assessed at the end of your 2 years by completing three 2-hour exams. And there will be a mixture of multiple choice questions, short answer questions, essay questions, data response questions, and case studies. And those 3 papers will look at what you've learned on the spec from the whole 2 years. So your first question on your first paper of your final exam could be based on what you've learned in week 1. So that's looking roughly at the spec. It is the AQA specification we're looking at. So if you wanted to do some further research on that, have a look for the AQA specification.
Right, can you hear me now?
David's back with us.
I'm
David,
back. Okay.
it's over to you for law.
Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened there. What I was going to say is my name's David Williams. I'm the subject area manager for the business area. I'll be co-hosting this session with Rahana, who'll be introducing A-level business. But Rahana has already introduced A-level business. In the area then, we actually run 2 A-levels. We run A-level business and A-level law. And Rahana, on the first slide, we've got a picture of A-level business doing a visit to JCB and A-level law doing a visit to London. So after you're going to talk a little bit about the A-level business, you're going to say something, I think, about some of the trips that you do.
Yeah, of course. So just before we move on to the A-level law, I can just fill you in on some trips that we do in the business bit of the department. And obviously, as Dave just said, that the law course puts on some visits as well. We've taken students to London a number of times, and we've been to the Bank of England Museum. We've been looking at visual merchandising. Really at the M&M store is a really good example for that. We've been also looking at how retail has changed over the years in London, and we do some excellent walking tours when we look at that. And that really applies really well to the spec when we look at marketing as well. We've done visits to JCB. That was a second year visit, and that was looking at internationalization and innovation, bringing the spec to life by looking at a company that usually students probably wouldn't think about. We've been to JLR, that's Jaguar Land Rover in Birmingham, and that helps with the operations part of the spec for the first year as well. And that's a compulsory visit. The cost of that is, we do try to keep it low. It's around £35 to £40 because it's compulsory. And then we have the big one, really. We went to New York this March, just before everything went crazy. We came back and everybody was fine. And we went last year as well, and we went everywhere you could think of. The Brooklyn Bridge, we went to the Empire State Building, we went to the One World Observatory, went to the Rockefeller Center, Times Square, the Flatiron District, and we had a tour and talk of Macy's to help us understand how Macy's has become not only a household name in the US, but how they're changing their business and their business model to tackle the changing retail landscape within the US. So it's really informative, and we got some freebies as well. So it's a really good visit, and it went really well last year, it went really well the year before, and hopefully we'll put on another visit. But obviously with things the way they are, it's difficult to say at the moment. So those are the visits.
Okay, and Beth has a question actually, Rahana. She says, hi, is there a lot of maths within business?
Hi Beth, how are you doing? You can't escape maths. There's lots of maths in business, but it's how you apply the maths. So when I spoke about the finance part of the spec, you're looking at, as I said, cash flow, you're looking at break even, you'll have to calculate labour productivity, you'll have to look at capacity utilisation. So there are things that you have to calculate, you have to use your math skills. But we do have plenty of students on the course who are not confident with their maths, and we help them through it, we provide support, and they find that if they just break it down bit by bit and look at how to apply those formulas, then it helps them. So there's maths, you can't escape it, but there's plenty of help to get you through it. I hope that answers your question, Beth.
Thank you very much, Rahana. Okay, so I'll start to say something about A-level law. So why would you want to study A-level law? Well, it's a very interesting subject. It also relates to many aspects of our lives. Some of our students then want to be solicitors or barristers, and they progress to university to study law. Other students use it alongside other subjects for university entry. Some of them do related topics such as forensic psychology or criminology, which I think was mentioned before, while some students recently have been getting apprenticeships and also getting some legal apprenticeships. So a small trickle of students over the last few years has also been sort of getting direct entry into the legal profession and eventually studying exams for the Institute of Legal Executives. So what sort of things do we do in law? Well, the subject comprises mainly of three topics. So we look at criminal law, we look at tort law, and we look at the law of contract. Underpinning that is English legal system, and the examination of that is split between the other three subjects. So overall assessment, we've got 3 exams of 2 hours. So assessment on the course is fully 3 exams. There's no projects or anything. Okay, so what do we cover then? Well, if we look at criminal law, we look at elements of a crime. We then look at non-fatal offences against the person. So we look at the basic ones in the first year. So we look at assault, we look at battery, we look at assault occasion actual bodily harm, and we look at grievous bodily harm. The second year of the course, we do criminal law again, and we develop it into looking at murder, manslaughter, and the various defences. We also look at tort law. Tort law basically comprises negligence. So we have to ask whether a defendant owes a duty of care, whether they've breached that duty of care, and whether as a result of that breach, the claimant has suffered injury. And then we also discuss other specific factors in tort in the second year to look at specific aspects such as psychiatric harm, occupier's liability. And finally, we look at contract law. So we basically look at what are the elements of a contract, what makes a valid contract, how can a contract be breached, and there's an element of consumer protection law in there. And so we look specifically at the Consumer Rights Act. Okay, so how would you expect to be actually tested on it? Well, they actually make it fairly practical. So what you tend to get for most questions is a case-based study, case-based scenario. The student will then have to identify the relevant aspect of law, apply the facts to the law, explain the law, and then provide advice. So in a nutshell, that's A-level law. We said, what else does a business area offer? Well, we've briefly looked at an active programme of events to enrich the student's experience. We've also, alongside other areas of college, with excellent classroom facilities, we've got dedicated supportive staff, and we have high expectations of student behaviour, which results in impressive destinations. And here are some of our destinations. So on this page, you can see some of the Russell Group universities that students have gone to, studying a range of business and legal subjects. Other universities which tend to be popular are Northumbria, Sheffield Hallam, Leeds Beckett, and Lincoln. And some students continue with us at Selby College, where we offer a degree course in leadership and management. Not all students want to go to university. Some students take far more vocational routes, and over recent years we've had students who've gone on to higher apprenticeships with Nestle, Arriva Trains, and a degree apprenticeship with Green Corps.
Any questions?
We do just have one question, which is, what are the entry requirements for law?
Well, for the law A level?
Yeah.
It's the same as all A levels, but we do look for students to have a B in grade 6, sorry, in either English literature or English language. But we may be flexible on that. A lot depends on what grades they've got in other subjects.
That's great. And then I think, just with you speaking about some destinations there, somebody's asked, will the college help me get work experience?
That is a possibility. Usually if students get work experience in law, they normally sort it themselves. But yeah, we'll sort of certainly help them out as far as we can.
Absolutely, David. Yeah, and we have got a central work experience team who can assist students in that. And I think one of our advantages, because we work with several hundred employers in the local area, that is an opportunity to find work experience. I think it's an area which has got some queries over it this autumn, simply due to coronavirus, and it's a question of whether employers will be able to take people on work experience. They will need to prove that their premises are COVID safe. So we are working with them at the moment to see what may be possible, and we hope we'll be more back to normal than we think, in the sort of short term.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Sorry, Phil, we sometimes find that it's difficult to get into solicitors'
David,
because of sort of confidentiality, but there are also work placement opportunities in places like the court, so it's related to very much related to the law.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much to both of you for that overview of business and law.